Welcome to Soulful English. My name is Daniel, and today you will not just learn English, you will learn life, you will learn hope. Have you ever felt powerless in front of a question? Sitting in an interview, sweating, your mind empty, words dying on your tongue? That was me. A boy with big dreams but broken English, a dream job, a shining opportunity, and silence choking me into failure. I still remember the fluorescent lights above me. Cold, white, buzzing, my heart pounding, my lips trembling. And then, the terrible pause. The interviewer leaned forward. His tie was red. His question was simple. Tell me about yourself. My throat locked. My world collapsed. Your brain is dying. That is what it felt like. In that moment, I knew English was not just language, it was survival. I lost my dream job in 5 minutes, not because I lacked skills, not because I lacked knowledge, because I lacked English. Can you imagine the shame? Walking out of that building, footsteps heavy, rain hitting my jacket. Knowing I had let myself down, I told myself, enough, no more excuses, not tomorrow, not someday, now. I would learn English. I would change my destiny forever. But the question burned inside me. How? How can a boy with no money, no time, no teacher, learn English in 6 months? Maybe you ask yourself the same. How can I learn faster? How can I finally speak fluently? What if I fail again? I had $5 in my pocket that day. My shoes were wet. My pride was broken. My dream felt impossible, but impossible is only the beginning. Every great story starts with a wall, a door locked shut, a giant mountain waiting to be climbed. My name is Daniel. I was born in a small town, far from the city, far from opportunities, far from English. My parents worked hard. My father drove a truck. My mother cleaned houses. They carried hope in their hands, but pain in their bones. We had no luxury, sometimes no dinner, sometimes only rice. But they gave me something greater than food. They gave me sacrifice. My father once said, "Son, education is the only door out of this prison." I looked at his tired eyes. I believed him. That's why the interview broke me. It wasn't just rejection. It was betrayal of my father's dream, my mother's sacrifice, and my own soul. So I began my mission. 6 months. That was all I gave myself. 6 months to break chains. 6 months to master English. I did not have a teacher. I did not have money for classes. But I had hunger. I had fire. I had pain. And pain is a powerful teacher. Pain pushes you when comfort whispers. Rest. Pain drives you when excuses beg you to stop. I built my battlefield. My tiny room. 1 broken chair, 1 second-hand laptop, headphones with a crackling wire. That became my English world. Every night, when the city slept, I pressed play. English voices filled my ears, news anchors, podcasters, movie dialogues. I absorbed every sound. At first, it was noise, just noise, my brain drowning, confused, but I kept going. Night after night, noise turned into patterns, patterns into words. I practiced shadowing. Do you know shadowing? It is repeating every sound you hear, like a shadow following light. I whispered. I shouted. I stumbled. Neighbors thought I was crazy, talking to myself at 3 a.m., repeating dialogues from Batman, from CNN, from podcasts no one cared about. But fluency is built in madness. Fluency is born in obsession. If you want normal results, be normal. If you want fluency, be extreme. Not tomorrow, not someday, now. That became my mantra. Every morning, I asked myself, what will you choose? Comfort or progress? Silence or fluency? I stopped translating in my head. Do you do that? Hearing a sentence, then breaking it into your language, then translating back? It kills fluency. Instead, I forced myself to think in English. I made mistakes. My grammar collapsed. But slowly, English stopped being foreign. It became mine. I carried notebooks everywhere. On buses, in bathrooms, at work. New words written in blue ink. Commitment, struggle, victory. Words became weapons in my hands. Because English is not a subject. It's a weapon. A weapon that cuts chains, opens doors, and builds bridges across the world.
I talked to strangers, baristas at coffee shops, taxi drivers, tourists on the street. My heart raced, my hands shook. But I spoke.
Sometimes they laughed. Sometimes they frowned. Sometimes they corrected me. But every conversation was a battle won. Every mistake was a brick in my foundation. And you? Have you ever feared to open your mouth? Have you ever swallowed your words because you thought they were not good enough? I know that fear. I lived in it. But I learned this truth. Mistakes are not enemies. Silence is. Mistakes are teachers. By the end of the first month, I was no longer silent. Broken sentences. Yes. Wrong grammar. Yes. But silence? Gone. That was victory number one. Small. Invisible to the world. But inside me, fireworks. Because silence had died and courage had been born. One night, I recorded myself speaking. I pressed play. My voice was shaky, my accent heavy. But I heard progress, real progress.
Tears fell, not because I was fluent, not yet, but because for the first time, I believed. I believed fluency was possible.
The second month was harder. The excitement was gone. The nights felt longer. My energy sank. Sometimes I wanted to quit everything and sleep. But discipline is stronger than motivation. Motivation is fire, burning bright, then fading. Discipline is stone, heavy but lasting. Discipline keeps you walking when fire dies. So I built rituals, tiny habits, non-negotiable actions that pulled me forward. I want to share them with you, because maybe they can save you. The first habit was the headphone trick. Everywhere I went, headphones stayed in my ears. English was not study time anymore. It was life. On buses, English, washing dishes, English, walking streets, English. My ears became soldiers, trained every second, alert every moment. Silence no longer existed. Only English. One day, a man tapped my shoulder on the bus. "What are you always listening to?" he asked. I smiled. "My future." I answered. The second habit was shadowing every day. I chose short dialogues, movies, interviews, even advertisements. I repeated them until my tongue felt like melting steel. At first, it was embarrassing. Imagine sitting in a dark room, repeating a line from Batman. "Why do we fall? So we can learn." I whispered it 100 times. My voice cracked. My throat hurt. But slowly, the rhythm entered my body. English became music, not theory. The third habit was speaking to myself. Yes, talking alone. Crazy? Maybe. But fluency is born when you become your own best conversation partner. I described everything I did. I'm boiling water, I'm brushing my teeth, I'm tired, but I will keep going. Small sentences, daily life, pure practice. What about you? Do you ever speak to yourself in English? Try it. It feels silly at first, but it rewires your brain faster than books. By the third month, I felt transformation. My sentences came quicker, my pauses shorter, my confidence louder. People started noticing. "Your English is improving." That compliment lit me on fire, because progress is invisible until someone else points it out. Then you realize, yes, I am changing. But the road was not smooth. There were nights of despair, nights of staring at the ceiling, asking, why am I doing this? One night, I threw my notebook across the room. Words scattered like dead leaves. Tears followed. My throat choked. My dream felt stupid. Then my father's voice echoed, "Education is the only door." I picked up the notebook. My hand shook. I wrote one word: freedom. Freedom. That was the real goal. Not just English. Freedom to choose jobs. Freedom to speak. Freedom to lift my parents from struggle. So I pushed harder. I started recording voice messages every night. I spoke for 5 minutes without stopping. No grammar check, no fear. Listening back was torture. My accent strong, my tenses broken. But every night, I heard growth. Growth is ugly at first, but it is growth. The fourth habit was memory hooks. I stopped memorizing random words. Instead, I tied every new word to a story, an image, or a feeling. For example, the word commitment. I imagined my mother's tired hands washing dishes, never quitting. That was commitment. The word stuck like fire to skin. Another example, opportunity. I saw that red tie in the interview. The question I failed. That was opportunity lost. I swore never to lose again. Can you see it? Words are not lists. Words are pictures. Words are emotions. When you connect them to life, you never forget. The fifth habit was daily courage. I forced myself into real conversations. Baristas, strangers, even tourists looking lost in the subway. My heart pounded every time. One morning, at a coffee shop, I ordered too slowly. The barista smiled impatiently. People behind me sighed. My ears burned. But I finished. When I walked out, coffee in hand, I felt like a warrior. Small victory. Yes, but victory nonetheless. Because courage grows only when tested. The sixth habit was stopping translation. I banned my mother tongue during practice. English in, English out, mistakes allowed, translation forbidden. At first, my brain screamed, "This is impossible." But slowly, the walls cracked. Thoughts appeared directly in English. Broken. Yes, but pure. Yes. And then something magical happened. By the end of the third month, I had a dream in English. My first. I woke up crying. Do you know that feeling? Dreaming in English means the language has entered your soul. It is no longer study. It is identity. That dream became fuel, I told myself. 3 months down, 3 months left. I will not stop until the finish line. So I doubled the work. Morning listening, afternoon writing, evening speaking, midnight shadowing. My schedule looked insane. But fluency is not built in comfort. Not tomorrow. Not someday. Now. That mantra echoed in my head. Every breath, every step, every mistake, every victory. Now. 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 By month 4, fatigue became my enemy. My body was heavy, my eyes red, my mind screaming for rest. Discipline was the only rope left. I remember one winter night, cold air leaking through the window, my fingers numb on the keyboard. A voice in my head whispered, "Quit." But then I thought of my father, driving trucks at midnight. No choice but to keep going. If he doesn't quit, why should I? So I created the seventh habit, accountability. I posted my progress online, short videos, broken English, shaky voice, but public. I let the world watch me. People laughed. Some wrote, "Your accent is terrible." But others encouraged me, strangers saying, "Keep going. You inspire me." Their words became fuel. The eighth habit was immersion. I changed my phone language to English, my laptop. English, my social media. English, no escape routes, no comfort zones. At first, it was frustrating. Settings confused me, notifications unreadable. But after weeks, my brain adapted. English was no longer an option. It was default. The ninth habit was emotional anchoring. I tied English to music, songs that carried my heart. I sang until my throat burned. Fluency was hidden in rhythm. One song was Imagine by John Lennon. I played it every night, eyes closed, singing softly. My accent faded. My confidence rose. My soul sang. Have you ever sung until tears rolled down? That was me. English entered not just my mouth, but my heart. It became a prayer. The 10th habit was writing letters. Every night. I wrote to myself in English, letters of anger, letters of hope, letters of confession. At first, messy grammar, broken lines. But slowly, my letters grew. They became journals of transformation, pages of evidence that fluency was building brick by brick. One letter still haunts me. I wrote, "Dear Daniel, don't give up. Your parents need you. Your dream needs you. You are not done." By the end of month 4, my speaking flowed better, my listening sharper. People started asking, "Did you study abroad?" I smiled. No, just practice. But still, fear lingered. Fear of real tests. Fear of failing again in interviews. Fear of the red tie haunting me forever. So I created the 11th habit, pressure practice. I simulated interviews on Zoom, alone in my room, lights on, camera rolling, timer ticking. I asked myself questions. Tell me about yourself. Why should we hire you? My heart raced even in solitude, but I trained under fire. Sometimes I wore a suit. Alone. Midnight. In front of a broken laptop. Laughable? Maybe. But warriors rehearse before battle. Fluency is no different. The 12th habit was community. I joined online groups, free language exchanges. I met strangers from India, Brazil, Japan. Broken English uniting broken souls. We laughed at mistakes. We encouraged each other. I learned accents, learned patience, learned humanity. Fluency is not perfection. Fluency is connection. One girl from Brazil said, "Your English gives me hope." I cried, because my broken words carried light to another person's darkness. That is power. English is not grammar. English is not exams. English is the bridge between souls. That night, I vowed never to stop building bridges, but battles continued. Month 5 was brutal. Deadlines, exhaustion, doubts. I missed days. I lost rhythm. Guilt crushed me. Maybe 6 months is impossible. Then I remembered a viral line. Impossible is only the beginning. I whispered it daily. Impossible is the seed. Struggle is the soil. Growth is the fruit. So I designed the 13th habit. Review and refine. Every Sunday. I reviewed my week. What worked? What failed? I cut waste. I kept gold. This habit saved me. Instead of drowning in chaos, I found clarity. Progress is not speed. Progress is direction. One step forward is still progress. The 14th habit was celebration. Tiny rewards for tiny victories. Finishing a podcast? Ice cream? Completing a letter? Music break? Speaking to a stranger? Chocolate. Because the brain needs joy. Without joy, discipline becomes prison. With joy, discipline becomes dance. Fluency is not torture. It is transformation with celebration. By the end of month 5, something shocking happened. I gave a speech at an online event. 10 people listening. My voice steady. My words alive. After I finished, silence. Then applause. Real applause. My chest shook. My hands trembled. But my eyes glowed. I had spoken. I had been understood. That night, I wrote another letter. Dear Daniel, today you proved it. You're no longer the boy who failed in silence. You're rising. What about you? Have you ever surprised yourself? Done something you thought was impossible? That moment becomes your anchor, your proof, You're light. Month 6 arrived like a storm. The final chapter? The last chance. I could not fail. My whole journey was boiling toward this moment. I woke up before sunrise each day. My room cold, breath fogging in the air. My heart whispered, "This is it. The last battle." The 15th habit was intensity. I multiplied my hours, morning to night. My world was English. No distractions, no excuses, only focus, only fight. Every day I gave myself challenges. Record a 5-minute speech. Write 1 page without stopping. Speak to 3 strangers. Fail or succeed, but never skip. The 16th habit was visualization. I closed my eyes and imagined myself fluent, confident, smiling, shaking hands in interviews, living the life I dreamed. It sounds simple, but the brain believes what it sees. I saw myself fluent. I felt it, and slowly, reality began to match the vision, but reality also tested me. One afternoon, I froze in conversation with a tourist. My mind blank. Words vanished. Shame burned my face. I almost ran away, but I forced myself to stay. I laughed at my mistake. The tourist laughed too. And the conversation continued. That was lesson number 1 of month 6. Fluency is not perfection. Fluency is courage to continue speaking even when mistakes explode in your face. The 17th habit was teaching. I started helping beginners online. Simple lessons, small tips, explaining what I knew, and in teaching. My learning doubled. When you teach, you sharpen. You discover gaps. You fix them. You gain confidence. Fluency grows faster when shared, not hidden. One night, I explained shadowing to a student. I demonstrated live, repeating lines. My student laughed. "You sound funny." But then he tried and succeeded. In that moment, I realized the boy who once failed in silence was now guiding others. Tears filled my eyes. This was transformation. By the middle of month 6, I tested myself. I joined a mock interview online. With strangers as judges, my hands shook, my throat dry. The camera turned on. I saw 3 faces. "Tell us about yourself," they said. The same question that once destroyed me. My chest pounded, my lips opened, and words came. Smooth, confident, not perfect, but alive. My story flowed, my dream alive, my fear gone. When I finished, they smiled. One said, "Your English is strong. Your passion is stronger." My soul exploded. The nightmare of silence was gone. That night, I knelt beside my bed. I thanked God. I thanked my parents. I thanked the boy inside me who never gave up. Because fluency is not luck. It is not talent. It is not magic. It is practice. It is persistence. It is pain transformed into power. The 18th habit was gratitude. I wrote thank you notes in English to my father, to my mother, to friends, to strangers who encouraged me online. Gratitude is fuel. It reminds you why you started. It keeps you humble. And humility opens doors that pride cannot. By the last week, my English was different. Still mistakes, but fluent enough. My confidence unshakable. My identity expanded. English was no longer foreign. Then came the breakthrough. A real interview. Another company. Another chance. I wore the same suit, the same red tie across the table. But this time, I was not the same boy. My voice steady, my sentences strong, my story alive. I was ready. "Tell me about yourself," they asked, and I answered. Not with silence, not with fear, but with pride, with power, with English. The interview lasted 30 minutes. Questions, answers, laughter. I walked out with sweat on my back, but fire in my eyes, I had conquered. Days later, an email arrived. "Congratulations, you are hired." My mother cried. My father smiled. I sat in silence, tears dripping, whispering, "We made it." Have you ever cried for victory? Not sadness, not pain, but pure joy. Born from struggle, born from sacrifice, born from never quitting? That was me. 6 months? Just 6 months. From silence to speaking. From failure to fluency. From rejection to victory. The journey broke me, then rebuilt me. And what about you? Are you ready to start? Not tomorrow, not someday, now. Because 6 months from now, your life could look new. Now that you have walked through my 6-month journey, I want to give you the roadmap, the exact steps, the habits that built my fluency. Because stories inspire, but habits transform. Without habits, emotion fades. Without action, dreams die. So let's break it down together, step by step, habit by habit. Habit 1, the headphone trick. Immerse your ears in English all day. Podcasts, news, movies. Let English become background music of your entire life. I carried headphones everywhere. People thought I was addicted to music. No, I was addicted to progress. My ears became doors. English poured in nonstop. Try it yourself. Next time you commute, wash dishes, or exercise, listen. Fill dead time with English. Small drops daily carve deep rivers in your brain. Habit 2, shadowing. Repeat every sound like an echo. Choose short dialogues, movies, series, or TED Talks. I repeated them until my mouth copied rhythm naturally. It felt silly. My tongue twisted. My voice cracked. But day by day, shadowing tuned my mouth to English music. Fluency is rhythm more than rules. Imagine a drummer learning beats. At first clumsy, then smoother. That was me. Shadowing voices at midnight, tapping rhythm into my bones. Habit 3, speak to yourself. Yes, talk alone, describe everything. I'm cooking rice, I'm cleaning my desk, I'm tired but determined. Simple sentences, daily practice. At first, I felt ridiculous. My reflection in the mirror laughed at me. But soon, my thoughts shifted. English became my inner voice. And when English becomes your inner voice, fluency follows. Try it. Tonight, speak 1 paragraph aloud before bed. Let English echo in your dreams. Habit 4, memory hooks. Don't memorize words like dead lists. Tie them to images. Stories, emotions. Commitment was my mother's tired hands. Opportunity was the red tie. Every word I owned had blood, sweat, and memory attached. That is why I never forgot them. Words must live inside you to stay alive. Habit 5, stop translating. Do you still think in your language first, then convert to English? Stop. Translation is poison to fluency. Instead, force your brain to think directly. Broken sentences are fine. Mistakes are fine. But when English becomes thought, fluency is born. How did I train this? I banned my language during practice. Phone in English, journal in English, conversations in English. Painful at first, powerful later. Habit 6, courage conversations. Talk to strangers, order coffee, ask for directions, compliment someone's shirt. Simple words, big courage. Every small exchange builds giant confidence. Yes, your heart will race. Yes, you will stutter. But courage grows only when tested. Fluency is built in the fire of real conversation. Habit 7, record yourself. Speak for 5 minutes daily. Don't stop. Don't correct. Then listen. Yes, it will hurt, but growth hides in painful playback. I cried the first time, my accent heavy, my grammar broken. But I also smiled. Because I heard progress, evidence that my effort was working. Do this tonight. Record your voice. Listen tomorrow. Notice improvement after weeks. Recording turns invisible growth into visible proof. Proof fuels persistence. Habit 8. Community. Join language exchanges, online groups, even local clubs. Surround yourself with learners. Struggle together. Laugh together. Fluency is not a solo climb. One Brazilian friend told me, "Your mistakes give me courage." Imagine that. My broken English encouraging another soul. That is the magic of community. Habit 9. Teaching. Share what you know. Explain shadowing. Teach new words, even if your English is broken. Teaching doubles your learning. Teaching exposes gaps. I taught beginners online for free, each time. My own fluency rose, because explaining forces clarity. Teaching is not the end of learning. It is fuel. Habit 10. Visualization. Close your eyes. Picture yourself fluent. Hear your confident voice. See yourself in interviews. Feel the life you dream. I practice this every morning. And slowly, my reality began to match my vision. Your brain believes what it sees repeatedly. Give it the right picture. Habit 11. Gratitude. Write thank you notes in English to family, friends, even strangers. Gratitude keeps you humble. Humility keeps you hungry. Hunger keeps you growing. When I wrote to my father in English, he couldn't understand every word, but he understood my heart, and I understood fluency is for love. Now, what about you? Which habit will you start today? Not tomorrow, not someday. Today, because 6 months from now, you will thank yourself. The day I received the job offer email, I sat frozen in front of my cracked laptop. The screen glowed. My hands trembled. Congratulations. You are hired. 5 words. Just 5. But those 5 words carried 6 months of pain, nights of struggle, and oceans of hope. I closed my eyes. Tears spilled down my cheeks. My mother entered the room, saw my face, and immediately began to cry. No words needed. My father arrived from work hours later, his shirt still wet with sweat, when I told him the news. His tired eyes lit with pride. He hugged me tightly. You did it, son. I felt his calloused hands gripping my back. That moment was worth more than gold, because fluency is not just grammar. Fluency is not just passing tests. Fluency is dignity. Fluency is giving joy to the people who sacrificed for you. I walked to the mirror that night. I looked at myself. Same body, same face now, but inside, a different soul. Stronger, braver, free. And here's the truth I discovered. English is not a subject. English is a weapon. It opens doors that fear tries to keep shut. It wasn't luck. It wasn't talent. It was practice. Endless. Painful. Daily practice. The boy who failed was replaced by a man who refused to quit. Have you ever felt that transformation? When the old version of you dies, and the new version is born. That is the real victory. Because in 6 months, I didn't just learn English. I learned discipline. I learned courage. I learned that impossible bends to persistence. Now let's talk about you. What is your dream? A better job? Traveling the world? Studying abroad? Or simply speaking with confidence? Whatever it is, I promise you this. The door is there. The key is English, and the power is inside you. But power without action is wasted. You must decide. Not tomorrow. Not someday. Now. Because every day you wait, your dream waits too. Picture this. 6 months from today, you walk into an interview, confident. You answer fluently. You smile. You win. How would that feel? Or imagine sitting with foreign friends, laughing, sharing stories. No fear, no shame, just connection, just freedom. Can you feel that possibility? I want you to carry this vision like fire in your chest, because when the nights get hard, vision keeps you alive. But vision is nothing without habits. So start with one, just one. Put on headphones tonight. Play English. Sleep with it. Let it enter your soul. Tomorrow, add another. Speak to yourself. Write one line in English. Take one small action. Small drops build rivers. Small steps climb mountains. I was not special. I was not gifted. I was ordinary. But ordinary people become extraordinary when they refuse to stop. And you? Will you stop? Or will you rise? Will you let fear chain you? Or will you break free through English? Your brain is dying when it stays comfortable, but your brain is reborn when you challenge it, when you feed it, when you push it. That is why fluency is more than language. It is life. It is proving to yourself that discipline creates miracles. I know you have pain. I know you have doubts. I had them too. But I also know this. Courage is contagious. If I can light a small flame in you today, that flame will grow, and one day, you will light others. Imagine this chain reaction. Learners inspiring learners. Strugglers lifting strugglers. Broken English becoming bridges across the world. That is the future we can build. 6 months. That is all it takes. 6 months of pain for a lifetime of power. Will you pay the price? Not tomorrow, not someday. Now. Say it aloud. Now. Because this is the moment your journey begins. When I look back now, 6 months feels like a lifetime, but also like a blink. Because when you are fully alive, time changes shape. Those nights of exhaustion, those mornings of doubt, they carved me. They built muscle in my mind. They made me unrecognizable, even to myself. And here's the truth most people never hear. Fluency is not about speaking perfectly. Fluency is about speaking bravely. Mistakes don't kill dreams. Silence does. So if you fear mistakes, remember this. Every mistake is proof you are fighting. Every silence is proof you are surrendering. Which one will you choose? I chose mistakes. I chose embarrassment. I chose awkward pauses and sweaty palms, because each choice pushed me closer to freedom, closer to fluency, closer to life. You don't need talent. You don't need luck. You need persistence. Persistence turns whispers into speeches. Persistence turns broken grammar into confident conversations. And persistence is a decision, a daily decision. Every morning, you ask yourself, comfort or growth, excuse or progress, fear or fluency. I remember mornings when I wanted to quit, my bed warm, my brain tired, my heart heavy. But I asked, what will you choose? That question saved me. It can save you too, because choices build habits, and habits build destiny. Your future is hidden in your daily routine. Think about it. If you practice English 10 minutes a day, every day, that's 60 hours in 1 year. Imagine the progress. If you practice 30 minutes daily, that's 180 hours in a year. That's the difference between dreaming about English and living in English. But here's the secret. It's not about hours. It's about consistency. 5 minutes daily is better than 2 hours once a week, because fluency is not a marathon once a month. Fluency is footsteps every day. Footsteps may be small, but they always lead somewhere. So I challenge you. Tonight, start. Put on headphones. Shadow one line. Write one word. Speak one sentence. Begin. Because beginning is half of victory. Your brain will resist. Your excuses will scream. Your comfort will seduce you. But remember, not tomorrow, not someday, now. That is your weapon. And when you fail, and you will fail, don't quit. Failure is not the end. Failure is the beginning of learning. Each fall is fuel for the climb. I failed countless times, freezing in conversations, mispronouncing words, writing wrong tenses. But I refused to hide. I wore my failures like armor, and slowly. The world respected me, not because I was perfect, but because I was relentless. Relentless people are unstoppable. Relentless learners always win. Now, let me ask you, who will you be 6 months from now? The same or transformed? Stuck or free? Silent or fluent? The answer depends on today, on this moment, on the small decision you make right now. While listening to my voice, if you start, you will stumble, you will sweat, you will cry, but you will also rise. You will grow, you will shine, and one day, you will tell your story. You will say, I learned English in 6 months. I turned struggle into strength. I made it. And when you tell that story, others will listen. They will see themselves in your pain. They will see hope in your victory, because this is bigger than you. Your fluency is not just for yourself. It is for your family, your future, and the world waiting to hear you. So do not hide. Do not delay. The world needs your voice. The world needs your story. The world needs your English. 6 months taught me something deeper than English. It taught me the law of transformation. What you repeat, you become. What you practice, you master. And fluency is not about intelligence. It is not about being gifted. It is about being stubborn. Stubborn enough to practice when everyone else quits. I was ordinary. I was broke. I was rejected. But I decided. I decided to fight, to sweat, to rise. That decision changed everything. So hear me now. If I can do it, you can too. If a boy with $5 in broken grammar can win, so can you. Because fluency is not far away. It is closer than you think. It lives in your habits. It breathes in your daily actions. Look around. Every English word you hear, every chance you ignore, is an opportunity slipping away. Will you catch it or let it die? Not tomorrow, not someday. Now. Say it with me, now. Because now is the only weapon you hold. Now is the only time that matters. 6 months from now, you can look back with regret or with pride. The choice belongs to you. No one else, just you. So take the first step. Tonight, open your mouth. Speak one line. Record one message. Begin your journey. Because beginning is half of destiny. And remember this, English is not a subject. English is a weapon, a key, a bridge, a fire. Use it, and the world opens. I believe in you. I believe in your voice, your story, your future. And one day, you will inspire others the way I hope to inspire you. So don't give up. Don't wait. Don't hide. Your dream deserves more than excuses. Your family deserves more than silence. Your soul deserves more than fear. Now, if this story moved you, if it lit even a small fire inside you, I invite you to stay with me. Subscribe to this channel. Share this story with a friend who is struggling. Leave a comment about your dream, your pain, your hope, because this is not just a video. This is a community, a place where ordinary learners become extraordinary. Together, a place where English becomes life. So thank you for listening. Thank you for giving me your time. And thank you for believing that your dream is worth fighting for. Now it is your turn. 6 months, one decision, one journey, and a lifetime of freedom. Start today. Start now. Start with me.